Greetings and salutations. Welcome to this episode of the Tim of Walk Show. Well, I'm going to do a review of Skylines 2. I have reviewed the first game in the past, although it wasn't the most positive. I wanted to do a series of videos about it, and I had made countless, huge, 300,000 plus population, 500,000. Maybe I got up to 1 million population with the mods, realistic population. Anyway. Let's talk about City Skylines 2, not City Skylines 1. So here I am. I've got it. I got it on the day. It came out the day after my birthday. And so it was my birthday present, so that was cool. I didn't have to pay for it myself. But anyway, I'm Australian and I paid $50 $55. I got it on the those discount keys, instant gaming website. Anyhow, here is the most recent city that I was working on for the last 2 days. It's currently at 239,000 population. I did no cheats, so went through all the development milestones, and I finally unlocked it all. Got to the end. It's a lot of milestones. I do really like this milestone system that they have. The best thing about it is how they give you large amounts of money. The annoying thing is not being able to use like big roads and freeways and certain things right at the beginning of the game, which you might need for correct road hierarchy. You want to have your main roads be large roads in your city, and you're going to have to build them as just medium roads and then upgrade them later because of the way the milestones is, unless you want to unlock all milestones for your city. But that's like cheating, and it doesn't feel like you're getting just feels like you're, when you play with unlimited money and unlocked all, it feels like you're cheating and you're not really playing the game properly. Anyway, because you don't have to worry about the budget, or you just totally spam that anyway. So this is played properly. I have tried a map. I've done about 6 maps on this game since I got it. I've done about 180 hours or more. I should open up Steam to find out, but a ridiculous amount. I basically spent 8, 10, 16 hours every day playing this game since it came out. Let's talk about bugs. Yes, they've had 150,000 bugs. This game has been 1 step forwards, 5 step backs. So for every new feature they have added, they have broken or there are missing 5 features. For example, we've got the specialized industry is basically like having the industries DLC, plus there is these buildings here, and then you get these industry buildings. It looks like I haven't done this ground earth factory, so we would put this down somewhere. Let's have a look at my industry zone. So I always keep my industry stuff all together and far away, and away wind from the commercial stuff, from the residential. These are the factories that I've gotten with it. Anyway, they don't show you the information they used to show. You used to see how much money each was making and doing all kinds of stuff like that, and you could have settings you could change for the buildings, and it doesn't do that on this one. So although it's they've got the industries DLC, it's missing 5 features for every feature it has, sort of thing, and that's the same story for basically the whole thing. Anyway, it's also basically impossible to make money unless you run some solar power plants and export that power, especially at the beginning of the game. My tip is to focus first on just build one of these solar power plants. It's because it's not unlocked at the beginning, just run 1 or 2 windmills, but don't upgrade them, and then delete those and build a solar power plant. Once you've unlocked that, try to unlock that right at the beginning is what I always do, and then connect it to the external power system, and you can export power. So that's one of the coolest things about the game. Let's have a look at my budget here, how I'm making profit, and I never did a single loan on this map, by the way. I got my taxes on low at the moment, as you can see, and I'm making money on electricity and on education, because with the education, my tip there is only upgrade the capacity, don't upgrade the extra things. the other buildings there, because that will make it always you lose money on education. But there's no way to like turn off. You can't. With the old game, you could make it free education to encourage people to go to school, or you could set it to high fees. And I thought they would let you change the fees here, but this doesn't. So that's stupid. They need to have that. I need to be able to turn off the fees if I want, or turn it up and down, just like you could in the last one, sort of thing, with different policies. But maybe they should just let it happen. There are some cool things, but it's sort of all over the place. Let's have a look. You know, like you've got city policies here. There's only a very small amount, and then they made it really difficult. So if for the rest of your city policies, you have to create a zone thing, one of these zone things. See, I called it grid. There it is. And then this is where you do it for the rest of them. But that's still, both that and that isn't as many as there used to be, obviously. But some of them are different. Anyway, I've got speed bumps on, recycling, and combustion engine ban, because I am an EV guy in real life. And actually, I have bought a real EV in my life now. I should make videos about it, but I haven't yet. I bought a Nissan Leaf, so I love EVs more than ever. Anyhow, so I love this game, but I can only really give it maybe a 6 out of 10 because of all the bugs and problems with it. Some things are just like really annoying. The freight system, cargo system, although it says I'm getting stuff here, I practically never see it exporting, even though I do have surplus of production things. I know in this map it's not surplus on everything, but on other maps I made, I had them all in the green by bigger numbers because they had more resources on the map or something. Anyway, then I spent more time on it, but this one I sort of got over it. I'm kind of over this city at the moment. I just wanted to show it to you before I go on to the next one. I probably could or should make videos about my other cities that I've made in the past, even the City Skylines ones, cities I'd like to show one day if I could be bothered. But yeah, there's definitely a problem with the cargo. You don't see the trains exporting hardly ever. And the same thing with the boat, whatever you call it. That's not the right thing. What was I trying to zoom into? This thing here. Yeah, the cargo ships. You see them importing and it fills up the storage, but you don't see it doing exports. That there. You can put these on the sides of it at least, which is like over the water. It's pretty funny. See? There's no separate warehouses, but you can add warehouses to these cargo stations. I have been able to get more people to use public transport than ever in any other game. Look at that. Oh, that changed. Last time I looked it said 80, now it says 122,000 citizens, not even 100, an extra 1,500 for the tourists using my public transport. I've got a lot of public transport here, everything except for the subway. And this is like my transport hub around here. So some annoying things about the game is, what are all these butterfly looking things? You have to build a hell load of them. Wastewater treatment plants. That took so many to make it get in the green. It was in the red for ages, and then it just imports or exports. I mean, you know, for this one it's called exporting, which is a bad thing because it costs you a lot of money, more than these do. So, but that's quite a lot. Look how many tips I had to have. Quite a lot. A huge number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Plus I've got a couple of incineration plants and heaps of recycling plants all over the place as well. And my garbage, they were just always complaining about garbage services. It's almost in the red. So as you can see, I actually need to build more of those. And look at this, is another bug right now. This changes sometimes. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it seems to be inaccurate when it does work. Right now it's just saying 0% landfill availability. But when I click on my landfills, look, that one's only 30% capacity. Capacity is this one, stored, right? They're all around that. same number as well. Isn't that weird how they're all even and the same? Well, I did build them all around the same time probably. Well, I had to demolish. As also, you can demolish the tips and just rebuild them when they fill up. You don't have to empty them. Actually, emptying doesn't work. They're totally bugged out. Also, the incineration plant doesn't work properly, but I had to build it. Otherwise, you don't have enough garbage processing capacity. The really super annoying thing is that there's no map editor at the moment. I can't believe the developers released this game without a map editor. So we can't change where the natural resources are, and also with no mods system. And so then you get problems like this where, you know, we're going to have to do some farming right next to the CBD. And how unrealistic and stupid and shit looking is it? So I have to explain that on the previous game I had the mod installed so I could, whatever, I can't remember which one it was, but it allowed me to change where the natural resources were on the map, which I would always do if it wasn't already set up properly, so that, you know, that would be exactly where I needed them to be. You know, I would turn on unlimited resources and things like that, and it would be like a big square, you know, over in the industrial zone only. I wouldn't have this problem. Let's have a look at all the natural resources on this map. So I'm not going to do any of the other farming, I mean mining, oils, whatever. And I'm not going to use this bit, that's just wasted. But every city always is short on the green stuff for the grains and the vegetables and the cotton. You can go crazy on the chickens and the rocks. You don't need resources on those ones. Get enough rocks. Anyway, this is my second attempt to make the video. My first attempt failed, and that really annoyed me. So sorry about that. I'm sort of a bit off because of it. But I've decided to upload that video anyway, so check out my channel. It's got like a 1 hour long screencast of the same city. And you can't hear me talking though. Sorry about that. I can't believe it keeps happening. I figured it out. It was that I'm, you know, using a screencast software, and for some reason it muted itself. But I didn't tell it to mute. I don't know why it was muted. Last time I used it, it wasn't muted. It's so annoying how things like that just happen. Bugs or whatever. Waste your time. Wasted over an hour of my life. And that is frustration. Anyhow, let's talk about the frame rate and the graphics and stuff. I haven't talked about that yet. That was one of the major things got to talk about. It's pretty good, I suppose, as far as, you know, things looking better. Got to show you what the settings are. Go to options. So first I should also explain that this computer is not running a separate GPU. I have a APU Ryzen 5000 650G, or whatever it's called, 6000G. So Ryzen 5 APU. For the latest, well, second latest, not the 7000 obviously. That would actually be slower because its graphics is even half the power of it. Anyhow, I don't get high frames, but when I have turned on developer mode, which is a cool thing, the only thing you can do to make this game better right now, and then it shows you there the frame rates. You can turn this off and on and have different versions of it. And as you can see, it's only saying 8 frames per second. That's not good, is it? I can get up to like 12, 13, 14 when I'm zoomed out or something, but the closer I zoom in, I can get more if I turn it down to the lowest settings, but I like to, these are the settings I think are the minimum you need to have. What is it doing? Anyway, so I actually have texture quality on high. I've got 32 gig RAM on this system, so it can handle things like that. The animation medium, but medium's actually the low setting. Water quality on low, and terrain textures on low. All the effects are disabled because not having a GPU meant I couldn't handle them, and some of them just look like garbage anyway. But you do have to have anti-aliasing on, and then you got to go to advanced here, and you got to change the settings for that to make it the best one, and check it because sometimes it just goes to the wrong one. But anyway, it's this one here, TAAA. For some reason, I know I saw that tip on some other video and I tried it and I thought, yeah, that looks alright. But anyway, what I've had to do is buy a graphics card. I've ordered one. It hasn't arrived in the mail yet, and I couldn't be bothered waiting to make it. I just realised I didn't turn off the sound. Sorry about that. There are these ads in the radio, which is pretty cool and also controversial. Oh, I just put that off. Sorry about the background music. I didn't realise that was still going. But they had this really awesome ad about Spaz Electronics, and it sounded identical. The lady rapping in it was hilarious, and I loved it. Maybe it was a little bit irritating after it played it 50 times in a row, but I still thought it was really cool. I couldn't believe they had it in there, and anyway, then that was gone. People complained because, you know, Spaz and Clerk's the Kirk the Jerk, whatever that meant at the end. But it's pretty funny. It was hilarious. You go and listen to it. If you haven't heard the commercial for this band commercial, it's so funny. I love it. It sounds like the chick from Star Trek Lower Decks. That, you know, I can't remember her character's name, but I do watch that a lot. I really love Star Trek, obviously. This is a Star Trek channel. Team of Borg. The Borg is in Star Trek Borg. That's what that's about. So, you know, I think it's her. It's got the same kind of humour, and the voice sounds identical. And I was watching the cartoon, and I was playing that commercial side by side. It's the same voice in my head, that I'm hearing. But it's sad that they had to remove that ad. I liked it. I might make my own music video clip for it, and upload it to YouTube or something, because that's how much I liked it. I think it should go viral. It'd be so funny if it does go viral. Anyway, I just really can't wait for them to fix this up. Things I like to do are, I like to go on tram rides and bus rides. I like to click on public transport. I'll show you, because I've set all those things up. And you can click on follow. This is one of the good features of the game. You know, although you could do this with the last one as well. And then you just wait for it. Oh, it's on slow. But one of my gripes is it always takes too long in boarding. Watch how long this takes. It takes forever. It used to be like that for the buses too in the old game, but I think they actually fixed it for the buses in this new version. And the boarding is really fast, but not for the other ones. So it's super slow on this. Also, I've had several trams and trains just despawn for no reason. They get stuck for no reason. They just sometimes stop and then don't move, like right now. Oh, it's boarding again, but nobody's getting on and off. That was a mistake. I accidentally put 2 stops too close. They cause traffic, these things, you know, and they get in the way of trains. I mean, cars, right? You've got to have extra lanes. You can't put it down a 2-lane road. Trams, or it backs all the traffic up. Even buses can ruin your traffic. So it's got to be working properly. People have got to be using it. You've got to have enough lanes that people can get around it and stuff. The roundabouts haven't even seemed to be the magic solution that they were supposed to be. I've seen heaps of traffic jams and stuff. And see, you saw how then just like things run through things. That's really stupid. You see that all the time still. Also, there's a crazy bug where the buses, when they leave the platform, they always run people over every single time. It's hilarious. But the people don't get hurt. But the people were supposed to get hurt in this. They said that in the developer diaries it was supposed to have accidents and people were going to get hurt in accidents. And I have seen that happen one time. I've played this game probably maybe 200 hours or 190 hours or something since it came out. I've literally been playing it for like 8 to 12 hours a day, 15 hours a day, non-stop. As soon as I get up, as soon as I go to bed. But that's what happens when you're obsessed and a new game comes out, you know. I also got that Sonic Superstars game, played it a few times as well, but honestly, this is more addictive than that one. It can be fun, like, after you've built your city, you just watch things happen, you know. Like, you can click on a person, that's a bit slow, but you can follow them around. I like how they've got this list now, and you can follow them. So why is there no follow button there? There should be. You know, I lost it. See, that's dumb. randomly try to click on one of these people. Follow. I clicked it. Where's the list of the other followees? It's this button. Yep. Anyway, that's cool. So you got to follow a list like Twitter. Yeah. Just when there's a lot of people, the frames will get super bad. And you still get this kind of problem where there's a ridiculous number of people stopped at a bus stop or a tram stop or something. And if you try to zoom into that kind of stuff, the frames go really slow and the game becomes unplayable. Although 8 frames doesn't seem so bad. So I've seen worse, I've seen it go down to 4. There's other spots where it's way worse. If I go to if you go to the transport hub area, wherever I put that, is it around here? Well, there's this train thing. 5 frames. Oh yeah, look, there's a lot of pedestrians. 6. Should be fair. Once I get a graphics card, it's not going to be great, is it? Still, there's a huge number I saw at this tram stop. Look at that. Oh, see, like it just goes too far because it's been laggy. Look at all these people. That's just ridiculous, isn't it? Like, that would never happen in real life, right? People wouldn't queue up that much. They'd be like, oh, it's not good, let's use different public transport. And why don't they buy a car or something? Or catch a taxi? I mean, the taxi's cheap. I've got lots of taxis. I've built heaps of them and expanded them all. Still, it's a huge number of people to be using public transport. And that was one of my gripes with the old game. City Skylines 1 would often, like, the public transport system would crash after you make a big city over like 300,000 anyway. Although I haven't gotten to more than 250,000 on any of my City Skylines 2 cities, they do get too slow. I'm running on performance mode right now. So high performance mode. Yeah. One of the other annoying things is like this whole farming industrial sector, that they are like these circles when you go here, and these are the things, and it's like you've got a circle and you plop it down and then you go like that around it, and yeah, you can make it a square or something, but that's, you have to do that. And if you want to have maximum actually that's the wrong thing to put there, but if you want the maximum efficiency, you need to do the full shape. In real life, blocks of land are never that shape, are they? They're always squares or rectangles, so it doesn't look realistic. So that's just annoying. You got to do it like, if you want realism for these, you've got to go like waste heaps of space. Just make it a rectangle. So the industry's not as good as the original DLC industries, because you can't like do it all yourself. It all just happens automatically in that way. You just make that little zone and then it plops up automatically with whatever it feels like randomly. Here, totally different to how you do it. You had full control. Plus, like, when you click on them, it doesn't show you the money that they're making. You can't tell them to go faster or slower or whatever settings you used to get in the last one. So it's inferior. And I liked being able to like actually plop those things exactly where I wanted them to go, kind of stuff, instead of it. The only way you get these is if you do a full circle as well. If they're put down on a strange small square, the big ones won't pop up and you only get the little ones instead. Mining extractor, that's pretty funny. Why is the wheels white? Is that another bug there? So many glitches. It's ridiculous. Another thing I wanted to say was I think Paradox needs to hire like 100 new developers for this game. I heard they've only got 20 people working in the whole company. Can you imagine that? And then there's probably how many of those people are managers that don't do any programming? And how many of them are graphic artists? Considering it's a game with lots of graphics and 3D modelers, right? You must only have a couple of programmers. It's ridiculous. This game looks like you need 200 programmers. And it's so bugged now. For you to fix this quickly, you're going to need 100 or 200 programmers, debuggers. Makes you wonder, did they steal code from the community, from the mods? Oh, you know, and is it really City Skylines 2, or is it really just City Skylines 1.5? Because it's on the same Unity engine. They haven't even told us if it is a newer version of the engine, considering how they've broken everything and acting like they have to rebuild it from scratch. It makes you think it must be a newer version, which somehow broke the compatibility in the old one. But this is just based on the old one. You know, it's not really a ground-up game. It's like not a brand new code base. It's running off the same engine. They've just got more options for the effects now. But all that stuff was just probably open source code, stuff that was already existed with the mods. Because there was already mods that made the graphics better for the first game, although it was very extremely buggy as well. That's what I found with the last game. If you had all the mods activated, the game would be too buggy to play. And just like City Skylines, it comes with all the mods built in, or the ones they wanted, but it's too buggy to play. And they hardly have any programmers working for them. They took too long between updates. Yeah, there was a day one patch. Why couldn't they have got that out before the first day? But then it took over a week for them to do another one, and I was getting extremely pissed off about it, to the point I went on the forums and started trolling them to tell them to hurry up, and also on YouTube comments for their channel. You know, so I've been pretty pissed off. I waited a long time to make this video. I wanted to make it early on and, you know, carry on about how angry I am. But now I'm more chill about it, you know. It's still a good game, and I've still spent over a week and a half of my life on it every second. But it has major bugs, and lots of stuff doesn't work properly. And there's not much traffic around my industries. Why is that? Because these buildings are not importing and exporting properly like they used to. In the first City Skylines, you had an industry zone, you'd get heaps of traffic, and they'd all be headed to your cargo stations, right? I've got a cargo station right here, showing, look, where is the traffic coming from the industries? Huge, oh man, this is ridiculous, isn't it? Look at this. This is just pissing me off so much. There is nothing on it. Why isn't he exporting? It actually said that it's got like, oh, it had stuff in storage, but now it doesn't. Anyway, I've got excess in some stuff for my production. This also makes practically no difference for your economy, even though they try to pretend it does. People complain that you get a high resource cost if you don't have all those industry stuff made. And you've got to, like, a whole half of the map, it's got to be industries. And look how much more space it's going to take up than your city. Unless you want to build suburbs. Also, a lot of people were saying, like, that you only get infinite demand on low density. But with this city, I actually had hardly any demand on low density. Look how it's just going down there now for no reason. Anyway, maybe I had zoned things in there now into it. Yeah, because I do things like, I like to do beach roads. Where's the beach road? I thought I had one along here. Nope, that's weird. But not yet. That's one of the things I do later. Yeah, so let me know what you think about this game, and, like, you know, me making videos about City Skylines. I've got a bunch of other cities I'd like to show you, and I also thought I could do a series of videos about, you know, a city that I could make from scratch kind of thing. So do you want to see that? What do you think? Yeah, I wish they would fix all the bugs with the garbage system. Did I mention that? The incinerators don't work properly. Yeah. Tips don't work. Yeah, I think I did show you that. So annoying. Alright, I better wrap it up. This has been a half-hour video. Somehow I've wrapped it on half an hour less than in the last one. Sorry about that. You've missed out on me ranting as much, but that's good. This is a good game. I do like playing it. It's got a lot of potential on the plus side. If they could just fix the missing features, like all the missing different types of trams and buses and all the missing features in the industries, get everything to work properly, you could give this 9 out of 10 if it worked properly, if it had high frame rates. But it seems that the rate that these developers are working, it's going to take them 8 years again, and we don't even have, that's just a joke, because even then, I would say that City Skylines 1 isn't a bug-free game. Like, it has bugs, it crashes, if you build a huge city, it slows down to a crawl and is unplayable. It's just like this one. There's no difference in the performance between this and the last game. They've just added more stuff to it, and that makes it bogged down. There's nothing about the core of the game that's more efficient. You know, because as far as we know, it's not even a newer version of Unity, is it? I don't know if that even exists. Maybe it is. I just wish the developers would give us more information on that to defend themselves on why this is such a travesty of a development. Did I mention Gamers Nexus? Yes, I want to you know, that channel. So this game has been such a appalling outrage of a release. People are saying it's the worst game release in modern history for gaming, in terms of the most buggiest game, right? That's running the least optimized, the worst, scrappiest code that, you know, it can't run on the PlayStation, right? I know they've delayed the release. They were going to release the PlayStation version at the same time, but the PlayStation's only got, you know, an RDNA2 graphics card, and even an RDNA3 graphics card can't run this at more than 30 frames a second. So, you know, a lot of PC gamers already have graphics cards that are better than a PlayStation 5, and their better graphics cards can't do it. They're saying that the best graphics cards can barely play it, and some of them even crash. So yeah, Gamers Nexus, it's not a gaming channel normally, it's just they do like hardware reviews. And this is the first time he'd ever done a review about a game, because he was into this game and he's decided to add it to the benchmarks, but just because it makes all the highest end game video cards look like crap, you know? All the cards that could do like 200 frames a second or 120 frames a second on other brand new release games on max settings, but this one struggles to do 30. They've got a lot of work to put in. They need to hire another 100 developers to fix this game. Please do that, or your business is going to flop. Paradox. Alright. And also, if you're going to release CEO words of the week, don't just copy paste them every week the same thing, because the last two were identical, and that's pretty piss poor. And also bring back the offensive ad. Maybe just delete the bit that was offensive. I don't know. Or actually, like, get her to do a whole bunch of other ones that are not offensive but more funny, and tell us if it is the chick from Star Trek Lower Decks or not. Who is the voice actor? Please, I want to know. All right. Well, drop a comment if you know the answers to my questions that I just asked as well. Okay, thanks for watching this video from Tim Borg Show. Please subscribe for more. Stay tuned for more. Let me know and drop a comment. All that kind of jazz. Share the video. That would be great. All right, live long and prosper. Resistance is futile. You will be assimilated.